On the show recently, we featured an entirely new family of BMW GS's. Starting with the Big Daddy, the R1300 GS. Then last week we featured the bigger brother, the F900 GS. That's all good and new and off-roady. This week though, we feature the little one in the family, the F800 GS.
Well, this bike it's 800. And okay, BMW built this bike sort of as in a very specific sort of frame of mind. Let's just put it that way. This is not a bike designed to be big and powerful. It's not a bike designed to light your backside on fire. It's a bike designed to just be good, to just be a bike. And I'm okay with that, you know. It's easy to criticize that kind of thing, but this is a BMW, this is an F800 GS, that's what this is.
This is all good and well, except we are not kidding around when we say that this bike was built with a very specific frame of mind. BMW has had an 800 GS in the past. In fact, at the time, it was BMW's leading mid-range adventure bike. But this is not that bike. It's very different. For starters, it is not in fact an 800. No, it's a 900. Or more specifically, it has an 895cc parallel twin motor. Exactly the same 895cc parallel twin as that in the F900 GS. Except that where the F900 GS makes a generous 105 horsepower, this bike with the same motor calmly extracts a more pedestrian 87 horsepower.
So it's not stupidly fast. It's fast enough. You open the throttle, put in dynamic mode, some stuff happens. But it's not sort of ridiculously fast. It's just kind of good.
This might sound ridiculous, but there is method to this seemingly obvious madness. BMW has done it before, especially in its car production, where it is a common thing to see exactly the same motor in different cars, but producing different outputs and being badged with different names. You see, to build a motor costs a lot of money. You need engineers, each with secretaries and coffee machines and things, to design these different motors over many years and costing millions of euros. Then, this different motor needs its own special production lines, which means redesigning the factory to make space for the thing. What a mission! Instead, BMW builds one motor. Then they head down to the IT department, find someone in glasses who doesn't look too busy, and ask them to instead simply turn down the fuel injection so it makes less power. Then slap an 800 sticker on it, and Hans is your uncle. But it's not just a sticker on the side panels that depict, smalliness.
Well, the 900 feels kind of large. It sort of feels a bit kind of bulky, intimidating. Yeah, it's got a kind of masculine quality to it. This just gives the overall impression of being a lot smaller. It's easier to climb on. Everything sort of feels a lot closer. There's not much of a screen. I mean, it does kind of keep a bit of wind out, but it's not like full protection. And it gives everything just the quality of being a bit smaller.
There is more smalliness too. For example, the F900 GS starts at 242,000 Rand, but requires a chunk of extras to bring it up to a respectable spec. And then you're looking somewhere closer to the 300,000 mark. This bike though starts at 225,000 Rand and requires a good deal less optional bits to thrive. Also, BMW offers a whole lot of financial options, such as residuals with guaranteed buybacks and things. So you could well end up paying less every month for this bike than other bikes of a similar price tag. And that's good. Obviously though, in order to reach this lower price, some sacrifices have had to be made.
Also, suspension isn't quite as good as on the 900, but you know, it's been kind of priced out. It's suspension that works, and really that's all you need. It's just, here we go, here's some suspension that works. Oh, thank you very much. Does the suspension work? Yes, it does. Well, thank you.
Together with the 900, this new 800 inherits some vast improvements.
Something else they've also fixed that was a problem on the previous models of this one, including 800s and all of that, is the quick shifter. The 900 was just a completely different thing. The previous bikes were some of the clunkiest, worst quick shifters I've ever felt. BMW just couldn't seem to get it right on their mid-range parallel twins, at least. Whereas now they're brilliant. I mean, you accelerate. There we go. The previous model would have gone clonk. You would have seen me do this. You know, gave you whiplash. It was so bad. Down also. Change down. There we go. Perfect. It's a good little motorbike.
And we mean it. This is a good little motorbike. Obviously, the experienced adventure rider wanting to explore the very depths of uncharted territories might be better off with the 900 or even the 1300. But this bike wasn't built for those people. Indeed, this is a bike made for people who would prefer ease of use over its ability to climb sand dunes, who would prefer something easy to handle above the ability to wade rivers, who would rather pay less than have expensive extras that would drive you to the top of mountains. Yes, the 800 has a 19-inch front wheel, 170mm of suspension travel, and the steel frame BMW is so good at, so it can explore off the tarred track to some extent, and therefore has earned its GS title. It's just a GS for people who don't quite want to GS as much as others, in which case, this really is a good little motorbike.